Okay, hello, I'm David Kaminsky, and I'm going to walk you through a lot of the stuff that we talked about on our September 27th meeting. And so, welcome. So the first thing that we did was live with everyone in the auditorium. We introduced everyone. Again, I'm David Kaminsky, the high school band director, and one of the trip coordinators. My other two trip coordinators are Friends of Music executive board members, Michael Maresco, the president, and Nancy Bowers, who's also the treasurer. She's very important in all this. They both are. And of course, you know Laura Vitarelli, our orchestra director, Kara Votour, our choral director, and you may not know a parent of a sophomore, Paige McNeely, is our trip nurse. So I started off after the introductions with what is the trip, and very simply it runs from Thursday, April 11th through Tuesday, April 16th, 2019. That is 2 days before April vacation this year. Those are excused absences by the school committee. And then it runs into the first Tuesday of vacation. That includes Palm Sunday. Easter Sunday is the last day of vacation this year, and we'll be back for a couple of days before Easter. And what are we doing? We are going to have a combined concert band, a combined orchestra, and a combined chorus each perform at Disneyland. That's the main focus of the trip. But as you'll see, we have additional sightseeing and attractions for our students to take in and enjoy. So the basic outline of the trip is on Thursday we will depart, usually very early in the morning, although that's not set yet, and we will go straight to Santa Monica Pier when we get to California for some informal shopping and dining, and then we will have a dinner together at a restaurant to be determined, and then we will get back to the hotel, check in, and we'll have some hangout time and some pool time, which our students absolutely love. On Friday, that'll be our Universal Studios theme park day. So we will spend all day there. And then we will go back to the hotel for some hangout and pool time. On Saturday, in no particular order, we will have a step-on guided bus tour of Los Angeles and Hollywood. We will go to the Grammy Museum, which is always a lot of fun for the kids. There's a lot of interactive displays for the kids. And then we will have some shopping, dining, and relaxing at Huntington Beach. The kids can hang out on the beach, play volleyball, any of a number of things. They can't go swimming for liability reasons, but there's also a lot of shopping and dining for them to explore. So some kids don't even go near the sand. They just do that. And then Sunday and Monday are our Disneyland days. There's also the California Adventure theme park right next door. So we will be doing those, and then most likely all three groups will perform on Sunday, but they'll definitely perform on some combination of Sunday and or Monday. The students do all have to watch each other perform, so that cuts into some of their park enjoyment time, although they will enjoy watching each other, of course. So we feel that we need 2 whole days at Disneyland. And then on Tuesday, we'll get up and have breakfast and then get ready to depart for our trip back to the Boston area. So how much does all this cost? By now you've probably heard that it is $1,600 per student and $1,400 per chaperone. Those are the same prices that are very close to, I know it was $1,600 per student back then, as in 2015, and that is due to the combined efforts of Michael and Nancy, our coordinators, who are working with me to do this without the benefit of a travel agent on most of this. We will be using a travel agent for our flights. We do not, unfortunately, offer a sibling discount because it would actually mean that we'd have to raise the price for everyone to be able to afford to offer a discount to anyone. We weren't willing to do that, so it really does cost $1,600 per person to go on the trip. All right, what do you get for your $1,600? And the answer is you get your round trip flights. You get all busing, which is a lot. We need busing to and from Marshfield and the airport back here in Massachusetts, but then once we're in the Los Angeles area, we are going to need to bus around everywhere, and so we're going to be spending quite a bit of time on buses, so that's a lot. And then we have a 2-day park hopper pass to Disneyland in California Adventure. We will have our performance at Disneyland. That costs extra. And then we have a one-day admission to Universal Studios out there in Los Angeles, and that is a little bit different than the one in Florida. That if you've been to that one, they actually have some old movie lots and things like that. It's very neat. The kids like it. We will go, again, it covers the admission at the Grammy Museum, covers the price of the step-on guided bus tour. It also covers our hotel. We're going to have one thing that's different than the last couple of times that we've done this is we've got an extra night in there so that travel will be a little easier for all of us. We used to take a red eye on Monday night, and now we're going to be staying on Monday night. So this is Thursday through Monday nights, and we are staying at the Embassy Suites by Hilton, Anaheim North, and that's at 3100 East Frontera Street in Anaheim, California. We are going to be having a full breakfast on Friday through Tuesday mornings. This is a great chance for the kids to really sort of fill up and get their nutrition in, because you never know what kind of grazing they're going to do out through the days and whatnot. So full breakfasts on each of those days included in the cost. At least one dinner will be included, and that's the dinner on Thursday that we have all together at a restaurant. We do need to rent some instruments. The cellos and basses are too fragile to go on the planes, so it's actually easier, more cost-effective for us to rent out there, so there's some cost involved in that. And then the Friends of Music adds a rider to their liability insurance so for these trips. So that has a cost to it, and that is included in the price of the trip. Other considerations. We will have individual trip insurance available for each person. We'll have more details on that. So we'll be doing that through our flight travel agent. She'll be able to arrange that for us. And then we'll be able to, we will be doing some fundraising. We've already had fair parking, and we are gearing up to do our mattress sale. We will have a poinsettia sale in November heading to December, and then in the early winter we'll have our annual calendar raffle. So I encourage you to check out the Friends of Music website for details on those. All right, so how does one sign up for the trip now that I've convinced you to go? So there is an online med form. It's a Google Forms. I'll show you that in a second. We need a signed rules form. I'll show you that in a moment. $100 deposit. We take cash, check to Marshfield FOM, or an account withdrawal if you have FOM account credit. And all of that is due on Friday, October 26, 2018. So let me go leave this window for just a moment, and I'm going to take you to take a look at our trip form. So if you go to our website and click on the link, I'll show you the website in a little bit, but if you go to our form, you'll see that we have a web form up here, a Google form, and we ask you to fill this out. So I'm just going to scroll down a little bit. It looks a little bit different for you. This is my version of it as the guy who created it. So we need some basic information. I know you've filled this out many times for us for many things, but we do need this all in one spot, and I need you guys to do the data input. So a parent should be filling this out, and you're going to need your child's medical insurance card as you do it. Not for this part right here, of course, but we need that, by the way. We need that family mailing address in case we need to send you any refunds. And then I do a lot of business by email, so please give us some email, the ones that you want associated with the trip. We do ask for cell phone numbers because that's a very handy way to get a hold of people. So if any of these telephone numbers that we ask for doesn't exist, you can just type in zeros. All right, medical information. This is extremely important because this is a registration for the trip, but it's also the information I'm going to use to fill out your medical form. To go anywhere out of state, we are required to have a medical form and required to ask all of these questions. So you must fill these all out. The Google form won't let you miss any of the required questions. That's what those asterisks are for. So as you can see, that's why you need the medical insurance card, is to answer some of these questions here. So you go and you fill that all in. And again, these medications right here, we just need you to indicate whether or not it's okay for us to administer them. You won't need a special form for those. Anything beyond those medications right there, the Tylenol, Advil, Tums, and Benadryl, will require a separate form. I'll get to that in a minute. So we go on with this. Anything special? If you'd like to receive information about getting a chaperone application, I'll be talking about that in a little bit. You can indicate that there, and then you need to read all this. I'm not going to read it right now, and then you indicate your consent to all that. If you do not consent to all of this, then you cannot sign up for the trip. So that's our online sign up. We need you to fill it out. Probably takes about 10 minutes if you're careful with everything. So I'll scroll all that up. Let's see here. We've got our rules form right here. So there's also a link to this on the Friends of Music website. So I'm just going to scroll through this very quickly. I'm not going to read this to you right now. So there's a bunch of stuff right here. Basically, it's just additional considerations and rules to which each student will be bound. A student and a parent will need to sign that and bring it in. All right, and then finally, I'm just going to bring you to one last form, and that's this right here. This one is not due by October 26th. This one is due by, I'll explain that in a second, is due by March 1st. And this is our prescription over-the-counter medication order form. And we need one copy of this, not just for each child, but for each medication besides those 4 that I mentioned before. So you don't need to print this up right now. You can wait, but if you know what or you have medications that you know, it's good to get ahead of it, because you are going to need, as you can see right there, the signature of the licensed prescriber. So it's not just something to fill out at home. You have to fill it out at home, and then you need to fax it over to your medical prescriber, and then get it faxed back to you so that you can get it to us. So this is not something you want to leave to the last minute. And again, you need one copy of the form for each medication besides those forms for each student. So that can be a couple of pieces of paper for several students. So that's what's going on with that. So let me bring us back to here. And again, we need our online registration form filled out by October 26th. We need the signed rules form by October 26th. Neither of those things costs any money, so please just get those in. It doesn't obligate you to give us any money. And actually, the $100 deposit can also come in by October 26th. It doesn't mean that you owe us $1,600. If you decide shortly thereafter that you want out of the trip, you'll get a full 100% refund. So let's go on with our, there we go, with ours. So we will have medical forms printed. So when you fill out that Google form, I will take all that information when I feel I have enough of them, and then I will actually turn it into a medical form that can be printed out. I will print all of those out. I will give it to each child in class. It will go home, and it will need a signature from the student and a signature by the parent, because it's the way that I print it out. It's a permission slip for the trip, and it's a medical form for our trip nurse and our medical staff back in Marshfield. So the rules form must be signed by parent, guardian, and student, as I pointed out before. And then, as I just pointed out, we have those extra prescription and OTC medication order forms. All right, so here's how the money is supposed to come in. By the 26th, which is this week, we need $100 to come in. And then by November 30th, $500, by January 11th, $500, and by March 1st, the final $500. So there'll be a separate schedule of payments for chaperones. I don't have that right now. A refund schedule, that is how much the Friends of Music will keep after certain dates, will be posted soon. I'm sorry, I don't have that information for you right now. I'm working on getting that. We're just trying to make sure that the Friends don't lose any money. The whole reason behind that is that as much as we'd like to give you all your money back all the way through, it's just not possible, because once we start paying bills with our vendors, the airline, the hotel, the parks, and whatnot, there come deadlines with them after we pay money in the name of each student and adult, for that matter, that's going on the trip. There are points where we can't get our money back, and so as soon as we can't get our money back, we have to not give it back to you, because we just flat out can't afford to lose money on this. It's a lot of money. So accepted forms of payment, as I've mentioned before, are cash, check made out to Marshfield Friends of Music. Anything trip related is made out to the Marshfield Friends of Music. And we have our Friends of Music account withdrawal forms. We will be able to accept electronic payments, I just found out. Those will be done via PayPal. We do not have it set up just yet, but hopefully we'll have that set up soon. Do know that if you make an electronic payment that you will need to add 3%. So if you're making a $100 payment, that would be $103 if you do it through PayPal. If you're making a $500 payment through PayPal, you'll need to enter in a $515 payment because that is what the credit card and PayPal charge. They charge 3%. And again, the Friends of Music, it really does cost $1,600 per student and so on and so forth. So we need you to add on that surcharge when you're paying electronically. So we do need chaperones, and we'll need male chaperones and female chaperones. The cost is $1,400 per chaperone. Chaperones typically sleep 2 to a room. We generally assign chaperones to 2 rooms of students. Each room of students is 4. So most chaperones get 8 students that they supervise throughout the trip. If you'd like to look into getting chaperoning information and to apply, we apply with Michael Moresco and Nancy Bowers. So just email me, let me know that you want to get in touch with them. And they have their own separate application where they just request a little bit of information, and then they'll be in touch with you about how to be considered for chaperone. There is a priority order. Any Friends of Music board member that wishes to chaperone has priority over any other requests. Parents who have previous chaperoning experience with the Friends of Music have priority, second priority. Teachers have third priority, and there may be 1 or 2 other things, but Michael and Nancy can explain that. However, we always need new folks because so if you've never done it, if you're not in any of those categories, don't be shy about asking about it. The worst we can say is no, we can't use you on this trip. So think about it, and hopefully some of you want to chaperone with us. Some folks have asked while I'm on this page, I didn't put it in the PowerPoint presentation, but some folks have asked whether or not it is possible to for them to not chaperone but go separately with their own family to California and then keep their student or keep their child with them instead of having the student go home on the flight with us. Generally, we've been able to do that, and I'm almost positive that we'll be able to do that. We are planning on allowing students to stay in California with their families for the rest of vacation. The most likely scenario is that you'll need to book your flight stuff through our travel agent, which is Sue Peavy Travel of Marshfield. She'll be doing our flights where they're not booked yet, and if you do that, that will probably make that possible, but I don't have the details on that, but I've gotten a lot of questions about that, so I do want you to know that should be possible, and we're working on that, and we expect to do that. We want to be able to do that for folks. All right, people need to be eligible to go on the trip. So to be able to be eligible to go on the trip, you need to be all paid up on your bills with the Marshfield High School Music Department and the Marshfield Friends of Music. So if you have any uniform bills like the $25 dress fee, or for a shirt or a bow tie or a polo shirt for the band, or reeds, or a flip book or a lyre. Some people still owe for, believe it or not, for our New York City in 2017 trip. Those sorts of things. I got an audible gasp the other night. But it is true. I won't get into why that happened. So if you sign up for the trip, and I do want to make this clear, if you want to go on the trip, sign up for it, and I'll let you know if you owe us money. You do not have to be all paid up on all of this stuff before you sign up for the trip. The worst that can happen is that I'll tell you that you have bills and we don't have it worked out, and I get you a refund, and then we agree that you're not going on the trip. But right now I just want people to tell me that they want to be on the trip list. So again, it doesn't cost anything to fill out those 2 forms and get those into me. You need to be in good standing with the music department, so you have to have acceptable attendance at our performances. You have to have acceptable music grades. You have to display appropriate commitment to the ensembles, including behavior in class and at our and at our performances. You need to see course expectations that have gone out from each teacher in various ways. We do not take this lightly. The three of us, the three teachers in the department, we don't bar people from the trip arbitrarily. We want as many kids to go as absolutely possible, and we would not take a student off the trip without consulting with an administrator at Marshfield High School and without talking with the student and the parent. So it's not something that just all of a sudden, you cross us the wrong way and we're not happy with you, and all of a sudden you're not going on the trip and you've lost a bunch of money. It won't work like that. There'll be a lot of discussion about it. Again, we don't take any of it lightly, but we do need you to understand that you need to be a good citizen of the Marshfield High School Music Department. And we want you to do things the right way, and so we will have discussions with students about that from time to time. You also need to be in good standing with Marshfield High School. So if you get yourself into disciplinary trouble and you're excluded from extracurricular activities, and this trip is counted as a Marshfield High School extracurricular activity, then you may find yourself barred from the trip. You also, and this is a very important point, you need to be academically eligible at the start of the fourth term. The trip comes right at the beginning of Marshfield High School's fourth quarter or fourth term, and those grades, that is determined by your third quarter report card grades. So academic eligibility is in the Marshfield High School Student Handbook, so I encourage you to check that out. However, I believe that it is 5 C minuses or better in 4 credit classes and passing physical education. I believe that is our bar for being academically eligible. As I said at the start of this, you don't need to meet all these requirements right now to get stuff in to sign up for the trip. However, to stay eligible for the trip, once you sign up for it, we do need to have all that taken care of. So I will be in consultation with folks who owe us money and stuff like that, so don't worry about that. All right, this is the heavy stuff, and this is one of the reasons why I require that people either go to the meeting or do this catch-up for the meeting. So, warning, I'm going to read it verbatim. If you are not willing to accept the risk of losing your money after refund dates have passed, do not sign up for the trip. Third quarter grades will come out after we must keep all $1,600 due to the fact that our vendors will not refund us for students who did not make themselves available for the trip. I had a parent email me and ask me about this and said, you know, if my child is not academically eligible because it's the school's decision, will we get all our money back? And the answer is unequivocally no. I need you to understand that if you sign up for this trip and you continue to make payments, you are taking on the risk of losing your money if you decide to pull out of the trip for an unacceptable reason. And I say that in terms of trip insurance. Like I said, we're just going to have dates on our refund schedule. And if you pull out after a particular date, you'll lose whatever money is on that refund schedule. So I need you to understand that it has absolutely nothing to do with the school's decision or a coach's decision or whatnot, and so we're on it. If you sign up for the trip, you are taking on the responsibility and you are taking on the risk of losing your money if you cannot go on the trip. A note about athletes, we very proudly have a lot of student musician athletes in our department. We're happy about that. I need each, or I should say you need each student athlete to check with his or her respective coach. Each one handles it. The athletic department rule is that for every game missed, you are held for an unexcused reason, and they don't excuse for the trip generally. You are held out for a game. Some coaches are very strict about that and some aren't. I won't get into who or what because I actually don't know. But I will say that Mr. Madden has told us that there isn't a lot going on that first weekend of the trip. If you missed a lot, if you were on our New York trip, it was because we had to go the last weekend of April to avoid Easter. So this is going to be a little bit different. I can't say nothing is going on with your team during the first weekend of April vacation, because teams do things over April vacation. But again, it's on you to know whether or not you are available for the trip, either academically or with sports or any other activity like drama or anything like that. I do know for a fact that our drama program is very supportive of our music department trip, so I don't think that you'll have any problem with that. All right, so we have reached the end. Hopefully you found this informative, but you may still have some questions or concerns. So if you do, the first place you should go is to the Marshfield Friends of Music website. There is a dedicated trip page, and I will continually update it and put things on there. You can also contact me directly, and if your question needs to go to someone else like Michael or Nancy or Paige or anyone else, a school administrator, I will direct that question there if I cannot handle it myself. As a matter of fact, I might, while I'm thinking of it, if you'll bear with me for just a moment, I might just pull up the Marshfield Friends of Music website. So why don't we do that? Let's see if we can find that. All right, so I've got it here. And so what does that look like? So I'm going to just Google. I'm going to make you watch me here because I want you to see how easy it is. Whoops. There you go, Marshfield. I look for it a lot, so what can I say? So there it is. It comes right up when you Google the term Marshfield Friends of Music. And then there it is, our 4th annual mattress fundraiser and whatnot. But as you can see at the very top of the page, it says California Trip 2019. So when you go there, you will see all sorts of stuff. For right now, I don't have a lot of stuff posted, but I'm about to add some things. And again, this is where you can get the medical form and you can get our rules form to print out right away and get into us. And I have the payment schedule up. So as more and more stuff becomes available, you will be able to check there continuously for any and all trip updates. So I think that is everything. So again, if you have any questions, feel free. I prefer email, but you're welcome to call me. I think that's it. So thank you very, very much for your time and attention. And again, get in touch if you have any questions. Thanks.